On today's Rockman-X DiVE News Roundup, we've seen our number 1 Maverick Hunter with the most alts in the game get his own Monster Hunter armor. Well, it is now time for number 2 and number 3 to get their own Monster Hunter armors as well. Plus, Rockman-X DiVE comes to Steam in North America. And yes, I said Rockman for a reason. More on all of that coming up in today's Mega News Roundup. Let's rock! Hello everyone, and welcome to your Mega News Roundup for January 24th, 2022. Coming to you from the ShadowRockZX YouTube channel and the MegaManNetwork.com. Not a ton has happened since last time, outside of the D-blog of course, so this is going to very much be a Rockman-X DiVE focused episode today. However, I do have a couple of channel announcements, one of them tying into Capcom news itself, so do stick around if you would like to. Alright, it's time to log into the D-blog and see what we got this week. First of all, last week we saw the rerun of the Monster Hunter Rise collab event. It was of course the same characters from last year, Hunter V, Hunter R, and Rathalos Armor X combined into one banner this time, with one free single pull a day. Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. The event stage was more or less the same as well, with some minor level design tweaks such as making the wire bugs easier to use. The research event from last time returned as well, but now with some new Manimalo Sigma scraps, where you could dismantle material to turn into scraps and then put those scraps towards the materials you actually need. Definitely a welcome addition, and that may be a sign of things to come this week, as it wasn't just a rerun, we're getting an entirely new Monster Hunter Rise event this week in DiVE. The event stage this time is titled Urgent, Support Needed at Shrine Ruins. And of course it uses the forest stage from Mega Man ZX as a base. And I mean, it looks okay, but what's really interesting is the boss. It looks like Steen Chameleon has DNA digivolved with the Chameleos from Monster Hunter Rise to evolve into Chameleos Chameleon. That's awfully redundant, but man, that design, that is something. Whew! That's kinda cursed, but in a cool way. Helping us on the hunt for Chameleos Chameleon is a pair of new characters new to the Monster Hunter collab. Crimson Valstrax 0, and securing her number 3 spot for most alts once again, Zinogre Iris. I swear YouTube, if you take down the thumbnail like you did with Swimsuit Lair, well, it could be worse. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, of course, Zero and Iris. Get a room, you two. But then again, look at the pose that Zero is doing in his new shiny armor. Aw, is that his best impression of X's poses when he dons his armor? That's adorable. The X-Zero ship lives on. But all jokes aside, can we just talk about how freaking awesome Crimson Valstrax 0 looks? It's not every day that you get to see an entirely new armor for Zero outside of recolors. Because you know Zero, he doesn't need armor. But man, when he does get a new armor, whew, boy. So obviously this armor is based off of the Valstrax from Monster Hunter Rise. You have the armor set from the game, but then you have these sick pair of wings that are based on the Valstrax wings itself, just floating there next to Zero, and it can even be used for attacks as weapons, much like the Valstrax monster itself. In the intro animation for Valstrax 0, we can see him using the wings to propel himself like a meteor crashing down into the ground, which is an awesome animation by the way. I can tell that Capcom did a really good job of showcasing what each of the original monsters that the armors are based on can do with these two characters. Skill 1 is Crimson Glow. Zero utilizes his newfound wings to shoot the whoop an arcing laser through everything in his path. In addition, Crimson Glow releases several additional energy projectiles that home in on targets. Skill 2 is the one that we saw during the intro animation, Crimson Assault. Zero dashes forward and summons an evil meteorite-looking star to burst in and deal damage to all targets in the path. Crimson Assault looks a little less interesting as just a dash attack. But Crimson Glow though, ooh, that's pretty. Lastly, the trailer details a couple other things about Valstrax Zero, such as the additional attacks being a result of his Dragon Energy status, and that you can switch between enhanced attack, defense, or speed according to your needs, which likely refers to his available chips in that case. It remains to be seen how much of a monster Valstrax Zero is going to be in DiVE, but who cares, he looks awesome anyway, definitely a must-have for me. Not to be outdone though, Iris goes Super Saiyan God for her Zinogre Iris form. Seriously, I almost didn't recognize her at first with the blue hair, and Zero wasn't that much easier to identify. However, there is a reason for the hair color change. You see, the original Zinogre is lightning based, and its body is streaked with electricity all over. And so, as we see in Iris's intro animation, she can power up into a supercharged state, just like the monster does. You probably don't want to give Zinogre Iris a hug if you can help it. Skill 1 is Zinogre Roar, which unleashes a column of thunder forward, ignoring terrain, and it even has the chance of causing stun on your target. Skill 2 is Cross Electrocution, an area of effect skill that unleashes an electrical blast on all sides of Iris, except immediately beneath her. This skill will continuously inflict damage to targets in range, and it will release several additional laser orbs that ignore terrain and has a homing effect. And similar to Valstrax Zero's Dragon Energy, Zinogre Iris has her supercharged state, which enhances her attack, defense, and speed. All in all, I think these two are among the coolest characters we've seen in DiVE to date. They really nail the essence of each of the monsters that they take after. Heck, I thought it was already a great idea just having the Mega Man X characters essentially cosplay as Monster Hunter characters. I still wish they did more of that for the Street Fighter collab. I hope that future Capcom franchise collabs will have more of the Monster Hunter ideas they've been doing. Wouldn't it be cool to see Sigma Nemesis from Resident Evil? You know you want it. Crimson Valstrax Zero and Zinogre Iris will be available in their own banner on January 26th, going for 2 weeks until February 9th. And of course that includes the new Monster Hunter event stage as well, featuring Chameleos Chameleon. In other Rockman X DiVE news, hey, the game is on Steam in North America now. That includes the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And to clear any confusion, I say Rockman X DiVE for a reason. Because we're not talking about the global Mega Man X DiVE version that's run by Nebula Joy. Nope, this is still the Asian version that is run by Capcom Taiwan. I don't know if they realized that everybody was using VPNs to download it anyway, so they just thought, whatever, just give them it. Or they are currently cutting the middleman, Nebula Joy, out of the picture. I mean, I call it Rockman X DiVE, but if you go on Steam itself, it will say right there in the store, Mega Man X DiVE. Almost as if they are saying, hey, if you want to play Mega Man X DiVE on Steam, you have to play the Asian server. This is the one you go to. Nebula Joy, who that? That isn't to say that Nebula Joy won't come back and announce their own Steam version for their Mega Man X DiVE, but as of right now, they haven't announced anything yet. And thus, the quote-unquote global version remains mobile only. For now, that is. But hey, if you already have an Asian server account, or if you just want to join the club with all the latest content already available since Nebula Joy is still catching up with their version, you can download Rockman X DiVE from Steam today if you live in North America. No more need for any pesky VPNs. Thank the great Budicus. That's all for our Rockman X DiVE news. But before we get into the channel announcements, I do want to let you guys know that Rockman-san Chapter 18 is now available. The latest chapter of this parody manga sees Dr. Light creating a new suit for Rockman, which is impervious to anti-robot bullets. And Rockman squares off with Anchor of all people to test out the new suit. Check it out in the link in the description if you want to read it for yourself, albeit in Japanese. And that will do it for today's Mega News Roundup for the most part. But I still have a couple channel announcements for you guys, so let's begin with the most exciting one. In case you weren't aware, at the very beginning of this year, Capcom took to their social media channels to announce their Capcom Creators Program. As the title implies, this new program exists for content creators that cover Capcom games to join. Hey, kinda like us. And that's not even just streamers or YouTubers, they also accept artists, like our good friend Sapphire Stars 11, congrats girl, as well as cosplayers and apparently even chefs. So yeah, if you make Monster Hunter food or Jill sandwiches, I guess you can apply too. Well anyway, of course as you know, I'm a YouTuber myself, so I threw my application into the ring, and what do you know? It did take a couple of weeks to finally hear something back, but we were accepted into the Capcom Creators Program. Let's go! Oh my god! Well, that's great and all, ShadowRock, you say. But what is the Capcom Creators Program? Do you work for Capcom now? That's a fair question that a few of you asked when the announcement came out. And the answer is no, that's not how things work. To put it into layman's terms, this Creators Program is basically saying, hey, you already give us all this free advertising for our games on your YouTube channels, your streams, or whatever. Now we're going to give you the stamp of approval and give you something back in return for all that free advertisement. And that something comes in the form of various perks that they detail on their creators.capcom.com website. So let's go down the list, shall we? The first one, and honestly the big one for us, is game keys and beta access when applicable to be used for content creation. In the past, this channel has had the honor of reviewing games like Mega Man X Legacy Collection and Mega Man 11 a little bit early, and that was thanks to Capcom providing game keys ahead of time. So for us, joining this program was a way to streamline that process for reviewing Mega Man games in the future, whenever a new one may be announced, right? And now the perks listed on the website. This and the creators Discord server are the only perks I have actually seen the fruits of so far, as I recently just got a key for Monster Hunter Rise to check out the new PC port of that game, so there should be some streams coming up for that, and I can finally show off the Palamut Rush Armor as part of that Mega Man 11 collab with the game. So hey, we get 2 weeks of Monster Hunter Rise collabs in Rockman X DiVE, and the actual Monster Hunter Rise game in streams as well. What a concept. Now I feel like I'm part of the problem. It was actually a very simple and painless process as well, so yeah, this program is already paying off in spades for us for just getting new content on the table. But besides that, for I guess you would say future perks, since they're still in progress of getting all that stuff figured out, they mention a custom care package sent as a welcome to the program, subscription to the exclusive Capcom Creators newsletter, digital merchandise such as skins, in-game items, etc., and as I said, access to the private Capcom Creators Discord server, included in Capcom Creators Stream Team on Twitch, which I don't stream on Twitch at the moment, so that doesn't really matter to me. Have chances to be spotlighted across Capcom social channels, the Capcom Creators newsletter, and the Capcom Creators Discord, which ideally the social channels would be the one you want to be spotlighted on, since that would provide the most exposure to the outside world for your content. The newsletter and the Discord, that's just a small group of creators that's going to see that, so it doesn't matter as much, but it's nice, I suppose. At the very least, the Discord server does allow you to connect with other people that also cover Capcom games. And of course, meeting new people can lead to collaborations and all that good stuff, so it is a nice perk, I will say. Although, at least at the time of this video, while there are some Mega Man fans in that Discord, I'm like the only Megatuber in there. So awkward, but hey, that's okay. That just goes to show how niche Mega Man really is. And to be fair, other Mega Man content creators that I personally know haven't heard back from Capcom on their creator program yet. I'm just the first one that made it through for some reason. Because yeah, they're still working through all those requests. They must have gotten a really high volume because there are some people who are still waiting that applied on day one, and it's been a few weeks. So hopefully as the months go by, the Megatubers will rise once again. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. The last two perks they mention is a badge to display on public profiles, acknowledging you as an official Capcom Creators member. And yeah, there is some stuff like that on the Discord server whenever you get in there. And lastly, eligible for paid opportunities on additional promos such as creative marketing content, Twitch takeovers, and etc. But I imagine that's more for the big content creators with way more followers than I have. So I'm not counting on that one per se. But hey, it would be fun if the opportunity ever arose. I have historically always turned down paid promotions, but I will make an exception for Mega Man. I will happily be a shield for the Blue Bomber. Oh yeah. That's pretty much it for the announcements though. I just can't stress this enough. I am not a Capcom employee in any shape or fashion, so please don't treat me as such. I'm just a guy that makes silly YouTube videos, and none of that is changing anytime soon. As long as we're clear on that. The only other thing I want to mention is I'm starting a new job on Monday, and from the looks of it, I'm going to be working mornings, so that means that Mega News are going to have to be on Tuesdays instead of Mondays, just because I can't record at 3:30 in the morning for DiVE News anymore. So yeah, after this week, expect Mega News to come on Tuesdays, which should still be before the DiVE update, so it's all fine and dandy. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. I just want to take the time out to thank everyone who has ever watched a video on this channel, subscribed, liked, became a channel member, or even supported the content financially. It really does mean a lot to have your support with keeping this content going for as long as we have. And without you guys, we also wouldn't be able to take advantage of cool opportunities like the Capcom creators that I just talked about. Your support really does mean the world to us, and I can't thank you guys enough. And that does extend to our channel members, which includes GA class supporters, LML123, Vent Crystals, Adrian Cauldron, Chaos Bankai, Rico Syndrome, and Austin Buford. Thanks so much guys. Y'all keep on watching and we'll keep on covering Mega Man stuff. Speaking of, do expect a review on Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X2 coming up this Thursday, thanks to our good friends at Inti Creates. I have quite a bit to say about that game, so definitely buckle up for that one. Now if you'll excuse me, I do have a review to write up, so I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the DiVE stream and Thursday for the review. Until then, rock on, have yourselves a great day or night.